and welcome back to my channel. My name's Helen, and today, if you haven't noticed, I'm doing a Christmas video, in particular the announcement video for the Christmas Hemisphere Games, or the Hemisphere Christmas Games. I am lucky enough to be one of the hosts this year. I am obviously, because I live in the UK, representing the Northern Hemisphere, and so this is a readathon where it pits the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. So you'll have to excuse me because I have got my notes written down so I don't forget anything about the readathon. So it's running from the whole of the month of December. As a group, we kept changing our mind about how long we were going to do it for. At one point, we were going to do it for a week, particularly over the Christmas period, and then we thought that might be quite stressful for people. So now we're doing it for the whole of the month so people could take the time. We know that a lot of people might not read as much over Christmas. Some people might read a lot. So it just gives people a chance to fit in as much reading or as little as they need to while still taking part. So we have a bingo board, and I will put it up here, and I will quickly go through the prompts. There's a mixture of prompts. Some are reading prompts and some are actual creative prompts to share things on different social media outlets. So Twitter, Facebook, what else is there? Instagram, I've only recently joined there. TikTok, that kind of thing. So and we have a Discord as well. So the first prompt is to share a favourite Christmas memory. So again, you could do this in a picture form on all of the social media outlets. You can do it in a video form. You could just describe it in writing to us. We have a Discord, so you could do it on there. The next prompt is to read a book where most of the action takes place on or near the water, because it's suggested that in the Southern Hemisphere quite a lot of people spend the time by the pool. So yeah, place on or near the water, so you're talking on a boat, on a ship, by the seaside, anything like that, by the pool. The next prompt is to read a group book. We have 4 group books, 2 to represent the Southern Hemisphere, 2 to represent the Northern Hemisphere. I hope you like the Northern ones because they were my suggestions, because the 2 books that I loved so much last year that I was going to reread them this year. So when people were putting forward suggestions, I mentioned these 2. And people liked them, so we just went with them. So for the Northern Hemisphere, there was The Six Tales of Christmas by Anne-Marie Ryan. That one's set in a bookshop. And then there's a middle grade one called The Miracle of Ebenezer Street by Catherine Doyle. So that's a loose retelling of A Christmas Carol. So you've got a contemporary one there, and then you've got a middle grade. And then the 2 that represent the Southern Hemisphere, I really don't know much about, so you'd have to go and look it up. But there's What I Like About You by Jenna Gwilym and The Christmas Tree Thief by Philippa Neffrey. I might try and do all 4. I'm obviously going to do the 2 that I was going to reread anyway, but I might try and fit all 4 books in, and hopefully they will cover quite a few of the prompts as well. So there you go for those. Then we've got read a book with something dark on the cover, because in the Northern Hemisphere it tends to be dark around Christmas time, or then the nights come in quicker. And so dark cover, or an object that's dark on the cover. Then the next one is read a comforting book. Christmas is cosy, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, where you're cuddling up under a blanket, you're cuddling up around the fire, that kind of thing. And the next one is, what does Christmas look like for you? You can show it or describe it to us, again, picture form, in words, in a video, all of the social media channels. The next one is pick a delicious snack to have while reading and then show us it. So again, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere you like to. And it might not be food, it might be a drink. You might do a nice hot chocolate with, I'm making myself really want one now, with cream and marshmallows, that kind of thing. The next one is read a book with something light on the cover, because in the Southern Hemisphere it tends to be light around Christmas time. So again, it could be just like a white or yellow cover, or it could have something on there that's like candle maybe. It could still represent the Northern Hemisphere then, lighting candles. And the last one is read a book where most of the action takes place somewhere in the snow, because it does tend to snow in a lot of places in the Northern Hemisphere. If you were looking for one that's set in Iceland, I recently read Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. I know the one that I read for Switzerland, The Sanatorium by Hannah Pierce. That one is set in where it was snowing, so there's a couple for you already. I hasten to add, I'm normally quite quick at putting TBRs together, but for December I'm going to wait a little bit, probably wait till the end of November to put my TBR up. So they're all the prompts. I should probably mention who the hosts are. So for the Northern Hemisphere, there's Kat, Brooke, Connor, and myself. And then for the Southern Hemisphere, there's Ellie, Kat, Jenna, and Mel, and I will list all of their channels below in the comments. I'm making sure that I follow them all so I can check out all their announcement videos, all their TBR videos, and that's the best way to do it. To keep up to date on where people are up to, you just follow everybody, all 8 people, and then you're sorted. And in terms of the prompts and things, you get 20 points for each prompt that you manage. Each row on the bingo board, whether it's horizontal, diagonal, vertical, whatever, all, you get 50 points. If you do the entire bingo board, you get an extra 100 points. And please just make sure it's 1 book per prompt. You can go back and do all the prompts again. It's just don't read the same book for, it's the 6 prompts that are actual reading based. Don't read the same book 6 times. It's better for you that way as well. So there is a Twitter at Xmas Games. There's a Discord. I will link that link below. And there's an Instagram, and it's #HCGames. So I think I've covered everything there. I hope I have. We've got a Google Drive, and that's where I got all this information from. So you can go on there and put that information in your drive, and then you can go and find it as you will. I hope you appreciate the headband and the earrings, and hopefully I am doing Vlogmas again this year. I will see how I feel. I managed all 24 days last year and I was very proud of that, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and have some Christmassy things in each video. I'm sure in the library where I work, I'll be doing that as well. But I do love Christmas. As soon as this Hemisphere Games was mentioned and they were looking for some extra hosts, I was all for it. So thank you to Mel for reaching out and asking me to be part of this, because I'm so excited. I will be doing Book Christmas this year for those of you who took part in Book Snooker. I think last time I just did it for a week. I might do it for 2 weeks this time. I think I'm going to do it for the 2 weeks in December, first 2 weeks in December, and that's basically just for Book Snooker. It was different coloured balls, a different coloured post. So I think there was about 6 or 7 colours that you had to read of the covers, and you got points. So this time I'm going to do a similar thing. I think there's 6 colours again, Christmassy colours, and you read that many books and you get points. But it actually might fit in quite well with this and the books that we pick for this. So I'm not announcing that yet. That'll probably be announced maybe mid-November. So keep an eye out for Book Christmas. A lot of it will be on the #Book Christmas, like it was on Book Snooker. So yeah, I'm feeling all Christmassy already. We're not even finished October yet, but all for it. So I hope you join with us. Obviously the Northern Hemisphere is the best. Shh, don't tell the Southern Hemisphere that I said that. Only joking. Whichever prompts you want to do, whether it's ones that are hot or ones that are cold, it doesn't matter. You will be representing your hemisphere, but you could still read all books to do with the Southern Hemisphere, even if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, and vice versa, if that makes sense. You're not tied to only reading books about being in the snow and all warm and wrapped up if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, and you're not having to just do ones about being in the sun by the pool, that kind of thing, if you live in the Southern Hemisphere. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, follow all the Twitter, Instagram, Discord, that kind of thing. Follow all the people involved, and let's have some fun at Christmas. I will speak soon. Bye.